members of the Presidential Task Force, the Director General, West African Health Organization, Professor Stanley Okolo, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, gentlemen of the press, a very good afternoon, and our sincere apologies again. However, I welcome you to the national briefing by the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 for Thursday, 28 May 2020. In almost all of our briefings and communications, the Presidential Task Force had made it the need for a drastic change in our lifestyle and behavior, the consequences of the COVID-19. This advisory is based on the fact that the battle is long-term and the cure is still in a distant future, nearest being end of 2021. We continue to urge our citizens to follow these advisories diligently. This point is further underscored by the statistics coming from other parts of the world. A look at the global numbers showed that the world has recorded about 5.8 million cases as of today and over 350,000 fatalities, and reporting from 251 different countries. Of particular note is the fact that a major nation reached the landmark of crossing beyond the 100,000 deaths in a system where the healthcare system is regarded as advanced. Similarly of note is the shift in the epicenter from Europe and the United States of America to South America, particularly Brazil. And of significance here is the Brazil case, which resides in terms of similarity between Africa and Southern America, weather-wise, and that calls for extreme caution on our part. The Presidential Task Force therefore wishes to underscore the need to press further in the development of our infrastructure, intensify our non-pharmaceutical response, the need for our citizens to comply more, and for our communities to get more involved. We say again, we cannot afford to be complacent, continue as if we are not under threat, doubt the virulent nature of COVID-19, and continue to allow the virus to ravage our communities, because we are fully in the community phase of the spread of the virus. Yesterday, we informed you during the briefing that the Federal Minister of Health held a virtual conference with the traditional medicine practitioners of Nigeria. We also informed you that issues discussed covered intellectual property rights protection, need for non-disclosure agreements, and the funding opportunities for research and validation processes. Unfortunately, the information put out in the media regarding shortlisting 3 remedies from the traditional medicine practitioners is totally misleading. And I remember exactly what I said in paragraph 11 of that particular brief yesterday, where I mentioned the fact that out of the numerous claimants, 3 were found to deserve further investigation and have been forwarded to the relevant authorities for appropriate action. For the avoidance of doubt, neither the PTF nor the Federal Ministry of Health has shortlisted any remedies. This can only be done after diligent processes and as may be directed and advised by the relevant agencies. The Presidential Task Force has received rather sadly reports of continued refusal by medical institutions to receive and treat patients for fear of COVID-19. This has resulted in several unfortunate and unavoidable fatalities. Statistics have shown that there is a drastic drop in the percentage of attention being paid to other ailments not related to COVID-19. This situation is made worse by the fact that federal tertiary institutions have been mentioned among those rejecting patients for fear of COVID-19. This is not acceptable, and we are saddened by this development. The Minister of Health has reached out to all medical directors, directing them to continue providing regular medical services so that we do not end up with avoidable death. Truth be told, we are having more deaths from non-attendance to other diseases than COVID-19. The reason for the greater emphasis on COVID-19 is because it is a pandemic, and if not curtailed, has the capacity of wiping out a large segment of our population. The Presidential Task Force also urged all chief medical directors and private health service providers to attend to other health challenges which continue to confront our people on a daily basis. Of course, the guidelines for dealing with patients presenting COVID-19 like symptoms are available, and if these are applied by our medical service providers, there will be a lesser risk of exposure to the virus. Within the next 70 hours, the Presidential Task Force will conclude its assessment on the impact of the measures put in place, and further recommendations will be made or submitted to the President for a decision. While we take steps, the Presidential Task Force will continue to appeal to all Nigerians on the need for taking this fight with utmost diligence. It is for self, it is for your family, and it is for the whole community. On our part, we are sparing no effort in coordinating the national response, collaborating with all necessary stakeholders, and supporting subnational entities in their individual state responses, which we always maintain should be in synergy with the national response. Today, the Presidential Task Force expanded the scope of collaboration and experience sharing to the ECOWAS region. This is in keeping with the role of Mr. President as the ECOWAS COVID-19 champion. This interface through the West African Health Organization, WAHU, will be deepened as part of the short, medium, and long-term objectives for controlling the pandemic. The essence of this regional effort is underscored by the huge population of Nigeria and the trade activities across the borders. I now will call on the Honorable Minister of Health, the DG Nigerian Center for Disease Control, and the National Coordinator to provide further updates. And I want to thank you for listening.